Hey, so good morning. If you're seeing this link, that means you click the link and you're where you need to be. So the name of this app is called Wart. It's only available on Android, it seems. So if you're gonna use this instead of a hard copy sheet for your brew day sheet or your evaluation notes, then I would suggest downloading the Brewer's Friend app and go through it that way. So let's get into it through the Wart method because it's the easiest method to learn and it's all laid out for you. So I'll just go with one that I just created. So you'll notice even if you're following along on an actual brewing sheet that has everything you need, the grain bill, the hops that you're going to use, and what yeast you're going to use, and at how the boil and the size of the batch is going to be. So we're going to back out and I'm going to break it down for you step by step. Should only take a minute or two, 5 minutes or less. So you're going to create the name, test, all grain. This is going to be where you pick from all the other topics we covered. For this purpose, we'll be going with all grain. The style is going to be an American Pale Ale. The boil time is going to be an hour, and we're going to lower it down to 2 gallons to make it faster for us to create. So you go over to the style guide, and what I often do is I'll check back and forth between the two to dial it in to exactly how I need it to go. So all this is just estimates except for the IBU and the color. That gets calculated automatically when you input the grain and the hops in because it's already calculated within the app itself. So let's go back to the recipe and let's start adding the ingredients. First ingredient is going to be a pound of Munich malt. So what you'll do is you scroll down until you find Munich malt. Right there. I'm going to do a pound of that and we're going to steep it for an hour. Both grains are going to be steeped for an hour at approximately 135 Fahrenheit. 135 Fahrenheit. Any higher and you'll start to release tannins into the beer and it won't taste as good. So for the pale malt, 6 row, you're going to do 2.5 pounds. Add. So now you'll see when we go back to the style guide that the original gravity and the estimated IBUs and all that's still not completely green. So that's an easy fix. So no. You go back to the recipe and you dial it in a little bit more. Now let's see. Just a little off on it. So let's increase that to 2 pounds and 9 ounces, and then you just kind of dial it in with the estimated original gravity until you get it. So one moment while I get that fixed. There we go. All right, now so the estimated ABV. We're going to add a little bit more Munich malt as well to dial it in a little bit more. All right, now all you have to do is get the IBUs. So the international bittering unit comes in from the hops. And the hops, you'll introduce them into the boil at 3 intervals depending on what you're doing. For this particular batch, we're going to be doing a bittering, flavor, and aroma hop. So we're going to go down to the Centennial. It's going to be introduced in at the beginning of the boil. So time 60 minutes. And you're going to put in 0.15 ounces of that. So next would be the flavor hop, which I'm going to use Citra for that. And that one's going to come in at 0.1. And the next one, same Citra. We're going to use Citra hops again for the aroma and the flavor. And that's going to be introduced in the last 5 minutes. And that one's going to come in at 0.15 ounces. So overall, you'll need just a 1/4 ounce of Citra hops and barely a quarter ounce of Centennial hops for this small batch. For some reason, that did not save. So let's just increase the size of this one and see if that fixes the problem. Way too bitter. Still way too bitter. Just shy. There we go. And now we have it dialed into a perfect American Pale Ale. And what you'll do is save that into a PDF. And then you can use this as your grain bill. And when you go to the store to get the grains and the hops, you'll at least know exactly what you need for that.